Welcome to Writing Quest. My name is Brendan Pugh, and it is a new year. We are in 2024, and I want to talk to you today about 3 different tools that I'm using in the new year and why I'm using them. So let's get into it. Huzzah! All right, so with the new year always comes this kind of new thing where we reevaluate our lives, we reevaluate what's going on, and it just kind of is a natural place to rethink everything that we are doing. And I, of course, do this too. Lots of people turn them into New Year's resolutions and all that kind of stuff, and whatever you do is great, but I just wanted to talk about some of the different things that I'm going to change this year to try to accomplish more with my writing. A lot of you know that I use Notion and Scrivener, and I love using those things. But this year, and I've talked about this a lot before on the channel, I've talked about this quite a few times in many videos, but this year I'm going to go a lot more analog. And so the first tool on the list is a simple 5-star notebook. Now, why 5-star? Well, not really 5-star, the brand doesn't really matter. The point is using a spiral notebook, because with this notebook, what I'm finding more and more when I'm writing, if I write analog and I use a pen and paper, there's no distractions. This notebook cannot distract me. And when I'm on my computer, I do all my work from a computer. I do this YouTube channel from a computer. I do everything from a computer. And so by using a notebook, there are no distractions. It can't distract me. The only thing that's in it is what I put in it. So when I go to write, I can set everything else aside. I can go to a different room. I can pull out this notebook and I can write in it. Now, why do I want to use the spiral bound notebook? Well, a couple of reasons, and I know a lot of people have used different things. I like to use maybe just a normal yellow legal pad or some kind of composition notebook or something. The reason I like the spiral bound ones is because you can flip it open and I can lay it flat like this, and I can do it on both sides. So I can write on this way and I can also write this way, and I can lay it flat. I can also open it up if I want to look at both pages. But also when I close it and I throw it in my bag, it's got a nice protective cover and it's very durable. The second reason is they come with the 3-hole punches. And with 3-hole punches, what I plan to do is, so for my book that I'm currently writing, I have just a bunch of the blue ones. So I'm using blue for this book, and I'm going to fill up a binder with them. So once I'm done with filling up this notebook, I'm going to put it in a binder and then fill up the binder with the notebooks. What that will allow me to do is I can take out sections and I can edit those sections just in the notebook. Or eventually, if I wanted to, I could pull the individual pages out of the notebook and I could compile them into the binder. I'm not sure if I'll do that, but we'll see what happens when I get there. But yeah, that's I'm wanting to go more analog. I'm wanting to reduce my distractions, and I'm wanting to get into, I'm loving the thing with writing analog and writing your story this way is it's slower, it takes more time, but you can't edit yourself. And it makes it, for me, it feels like I'm more intentional with my writing. So I'm more intentional with the words I'm putting down, because I can't really go back and edit it right away. I can't delete a sentence and try it again. So before I write the sentence, I think about it more. I kind of think about what I want, and I'm more intentional with the words that I'm choosing. So that is what I'm doing. I'm going a little more analog this year. That is tool number 1, is the notebook. Tool number 2 is a Pilot G2 gel pen. And the reason that I'm liking the pen is because more than a pencil, pencils tend to smudge over time and the writing can become very faded and all that kind of stuff. With a pen, the pen stays crisp and sharp the whole time when you're writing. It's also a lot more permanent. So again, it goes back to that being very intentional, where what I write is what I write. So I have to choose my words carefully when I go through my sentences and my dialogue and everything, because I can't just go back and edit it. So it forces me to slow down a little more, because I know what I'm putting down is basically the final version for that particular draft. And so the other reason I really like these pens over, say, a fountain pen or something else, these have a little bit of a thicker tip, so the writing is a little bigger. I don't like a thin-tipped pen. It just seems too scratchy to me. I don't know, I don't like the feel of it. These also have a very comfortable grip to them. I'm a big fan of the grip. I really like how it feels, and my hands are a little bigger, and my fingers are bigger, so I really like how this feels for me. And then I like the gel pen because, so the gel kind of can take a little bit longer to dry, and it doesn't dry as instantly, so you can smudge it if you're not careful, if you just run your hand over it on accident, you can smudge it. But what I like better than, say, a fountain pen, and now I've never totally used a fountain pen, but the things I've seen about fountain pens is they require a lot more maintenance and you got to clean your tips out right. And there's probably some advantage, and it probably is a really great writing experience. But for me right now, these work really well because they're cheap to find, they're easy to use, and they have a really good high quality writing experience, I believe. And so these pens work really well for me. I will say, if you have a pen suggestion, I'm totally open to pen suggestions, so leave that down in the comments below. Also with the notebooks, I'm definitely down for that too, so make sure to give me those suggestions if you have them, because I'm always interested in optimizing and figuring out more things to do with my writing. So let me know. And of course, finally, I'm going to be using, as this is probably no shock or surprise to anyone, I'm going to be using my Storybook Master Novelist Notion template, which has all of my notes and everything compiled. So while for my actual writing, I want to be analog and I want to really feel it and be immersed in it and undistracted and all the things that analog provides, the digital space is still, to me, the best possible way to keep all of your notes and keep all of your story elements and characters and all that kind of stuff, because it's so infinitely expandable. And with writing a story that's the size of mine, where it's a potential for lots of different books, I've got about 13 planned plus a bunch of spin-off books, the digital space, you just can't beat it for its expandability and what it can do. So basically what I'm going for is this hybrid version in the new year, where I'm going for notebook and analog for my intense writing sessions, so I can really focus and drill down to what is important. But then when it comes to notes and keeping notes, I keep those in a digital place, and I keep those in my Notion template, Storybook Master Novelist. I've talked a lot about Storybook Master Novelist, so I won't go into it a bunch here, but if you are interested in getting it, there's a link in the description below to videos that walk you through how to use it, and also where you can purchase it. You can also use the code WQ15 and get 15% off your purchase if you choose to do so. Finally, my last tip on this year is just have fun with it. Write your stories. I've put so much pressure on myself in the last few years, especially since starting this channel, about my writing and getting it done and not getting it done. Is it good enough? Is it worthy enough to share and all this kind of stuff? And part of it, I did lose a little bit of the joy of just doing it. And so part of for me this year is getting back to the basics, getting back to what it means to actually write and tell a story, and ultimately starting out doing it for myself first, and then hopefully creating something that I love and cherish so much that I want to actually share it with everyone else. And so as you look out into the new year with your resolutions or whatever you do to prepare for a new year and reflect and all those kinds of things, I hope this video helps with giving you maybe some ideas for what you can do. Again, because we live in such a digital world and we have so many things going on in our world, I would so recommend going analog and having a little bit more analog in your life. I feel like for creativity and for the things that we do to create, digital can just get in the way. Sometimes you need to use digital. I'm going to be using that, as I said, for my notes and everything. But for the actual art of creating, especially when it comes to writing, I feel like the digital world can just offer so many distractions. And so that is my encouragement to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and learned something. If you have any suggestions for pens or notebooks or anything down below, please let me know. If this is something you've done before, let me know. And also make sure to let me know what you are doing in the new year for your writing, whether you're doing something totally different, something very similar. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you, and we'll see you next time on Writing Quest. Huzzah!